And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Flagler Weather Update. And this is the weekend version of the Outlook where we take a look at what's going to be happening next several days and into next week. So we're looking at the satellite image over Florida. Now, these different colors represent lightning, and the way this satellite works is it detects lightning flashes. See quite a bit, not far away from where we are. So let's go ahead and talk tropics because there is some activity going on out there. And the very first thing I want to draw attention to is this disturbance, which is investigation area AL 99. And the time is running out for this thing to even get a chance to get organized here. It did have a moderate chance of development, but now it's weakened and it's getting into an environment where those conditions are just not supportive of development. So this one likely, at least in the next 7 days, has a very minimal chance, about 20% chance to get organized. We do have a new storm, Tropical Storm Ferdinand. Let's take a closer look at that. Ferdinand looks like a good 1,000 miles or so to our east, and it's forecast to maintain tropical storm strength as it moves off to the northeast, staying well out to sea. It could potentially get close to Bermuda, but other than that, other than ships and aircraft, this isn't really a big deal for anybody. It will kick the surf up again along the East Coast, so those rip current risks will stay with us through the days ahead as Ferdinand moves off to the northeast. You can see this little orange area right here? That's the area in which the tropical storm force winds are. And so if I zoom the forecast in a little bit, you can see here, again, it's not really that big of a storm. It just formed. Sustained winds 40 miles an hour, and the speed is moving north at 15 miles an hour. Sustained winds at 40 miles an hour with this storm. So again, this is not going to be an issue for us. Taking a look at the wind risk for this thing. Again, the tropical storm wind risk, they even stay to the east of Bermuda right now. So tropical storm force wind risks well out to sea. Not a problem for anybody. Taking a look at the satellite imagery, it is very disorganized. Center, it's really hard to even figure out where that is, but it looks like it's right around there. And you can see the thunderstorms and everything are well off to the one side of it. So definitely not organized at all and not going to be a problem for us. Again, elsewhere in the tropics, though, we're looking in pretty good shape. We'll keep an eye on this, but this one has a very minimal chance of development and looks to fade away as it moves into the Caribbean. No other areas of concern at this point in time. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with our local weather. And there's quite a bit going on here. So we have a front that's kind of stalled out and trapped a lot of deep moisture with it. Several disturbances moving with it, and it's been keeping things rather active. And that's going to stay with us as we go into Sunday. But look at this. Here comes another front. And this is a pretty strong front for this time of year, and it's racing towards us. And by Monday, it catches us. And this front's actually going to bring some, believe it or not, a little cooler air to the region. Not a lot cooler, but a little cooler air. And it could actually bring us some drier conditions as well. So taking a look at concerns here from the National Weather Service, there are flood watches up to the north of us where they expect a heavier rain to be. Down here, we can still see some locally heavy rainfall. This details the areas of highest risk. So basically what a yellow is, there's a slight risk of flooding from heavy rain. The green is marginal risk, basically at least 5% chance of flooding from heavy rainfall. So we're not completely out of that, but the chances, 5% chance, very minimal risk at that. But that's what's going on. Rip currents are still going to be a thing, at least for the next couple days, due to swells from Erin and then swells coming in from Ferdinand. And again, we just talked about the tropics there. Again, the high risk of rip currents is the main concern here. Of course, hurricane season runs all the way through to the end of November, so go ahead and make sure that you stay prepared. Now, let's talk about precipitation chances. For tonight, we're looking at rain chances about to decrease to about 40 to 50%. Better chances along the coast, lesser chances as you go inland. Now, as we go to tomorrow, pretty high rain chances countywide, about a 70 to 80% chance of rain countywide. Doesn't mean it's going to rain the entire day, but you will see those showers coming and going. Some of them will be heavy and thundery at times as we go through. And now into Sunday night, those rain chances, go down to about 20 to 30%. And then as we get into Monday, still another good chance of showers and thunderstorms. About a 60 to 70% chance of that. And man, remember, it doesn't mean it's going to rain the entire day. But as we get into Tuesday, still maintaining about a 50% chance of showers and storms. But notice those rain chances go down a little bit. And then about a 50% chance on Wednesday as that next front kind of hangs out a little bit. And then about a 60% chance on Thursday. Then we start to see rain chances come back up on Friday with a 70% chance of showers and storms as maybe that front that comes through tries to come back to the north. So looking at nighttime rain chances, pretty nil largely. Still about a 40% chance of rain each night. Most of that in the evening. Talking about temperatures right now, here in Flagler County, we're expecting lows tonight to be generally 74 to 77 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, but not as hot as it's been as of late. Highs right near 90, 80s to near 90 or so. And then tomorrow night, back into the 70s. These low temperatures are pretty consistent for the next several days. But we get into Monday, still up right near 90, 80s at the beaches. Monday night, let's see here. We've got a little off track here. Tuesday morning, down in the 70s again. And then as we get into Tuesday, still up in the 90s or so. And as we get into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, still in the 70s, and then we come down just a little bit of relief from that front, but not much. Remember, it's still August, so highs near 90, mid 80s along the coast, and then as we get into we're going to see temperatures getting down into the lower 70s in the inland locations, so cooling off a little bit, but again, not a whole lot, but definitely a little cooler. As we get towards Friday, we just get to 90, maybe stay in the 80s, and a lot of that could be due to rainfall, and then temperatures bottom out in the 70s once again. Heat index, we're expecting heat index numbers right near 100, 102, nothing super extreme as we go through the week. Matter of fact, they come back down. The heat index numbers come down quite a bit. Still rather warm in the 90s, but the heat index numbers come down as we go towards the end of the week. I want to bounce back to rainfall real quick, and we did go through rain chances, but the one thing I forgot is to look at rainfall amounts. This is total rainfall through the next 7 days. 1.5 to 2 inches largely. There could be some places that see a little higher than that. There could be some localized amounts, maybe 2 inches in through here. So 1.5 to 2 inches quite largely across the county is what the average is going to be, but there could be some places where you see heavier amounts than that, localized heavier amounts. So let's get into going into the long distance forecast now, the long range. Now, as we go through Labor Day weekend and into the first part of September, there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall across Florida, and that is due to that lingering front and potential for maybe a low-pressure system spinning up somewhere at the Gulf or the Atlantic side. That's not going to be that big of a deal. It's going to be more of a rainmaker if it even comes together. But as we go into the end of August into early September, looking for temperatures to be trending downward a little bit, maybe about average, maybe just slightly, just ever so slightly below normal for as we go into the beginning part of September. And as we get into further into September, the first week of September, right about average or so, temperature-wise, precipitation, a little bit above normal there as well. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. So, in short, it looks to be somewhat unsettled and changeable the next several days. We're going to see those rain chances maybe come down a little bit more to our normal values as we get into the middle part of the week. Maybe some temperatures just slightly cooler, not dramatically so, but still, remember, it's still August, but a little bit cooler has been. And continue a good chance of showers and storms each day, but probably not as extensive as it is over the weekend. So tomorrow morning could get showers and storms into the area early again. So let's see how that shakes out. And then that potential will exist Monday, but then as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe back to our regular showers and thunderstorms. And then as we get into Friday, we might see those rain chances increase. Everybody out there, have a great evening. If you just joined us and want to rewatch, you can just rewind the video. We'll be posting YouTube link up shortly. Bye-bye now.